I'm Caroline Rena, and this is the ride of my life. And today is Memorial Day. It's almost 10 o'clock at night here in Florida. And it's taken me a while to decide to actually do a video about this, even though I'm posting a video a day. So this will come out on Tuesday, the 30th. But it was important for me to come on and not just post pictures and say what I said on my Facebook and Instagram pages. So a lot of people don't know that I was in the military. Some do. I don't think anybody knows my experience, and basically what that was military sexual trauma, which they call MST. And what happened in a nutshell was there was a lot of sexual harassment, and as soon as I put the kibosh on the sexual harassment by the supervisor, the civilian supervisor of the reserve unit that I was working in for 5 years, then he started to harass me. And I could never do my job correctly, and he involved the commander and the executive officer, and it was just this whole challenging mess. And at the same time, I was going through parental alienation. You can look that up for those of you who don't know what that is. And it involved my children and the process of divorce for my first husband. So it was all going on at the same time. So it was very challenging for me to walk through that in any capacity, because I felt so alone and just didn't know how to handle it. But anyway, so in February, I got this little push from the therapist that I've been seeing, and we were talking, and the whole thing about I had never mentioned to him about being in the military, and it came out on one of my appointments, and he convinced me to take a look at what that was. So we started doing the work around that, and then he also said, based off of the things that happened, that I deserved to put a claim in for benefits for that. And 20 years ago, it was a whole different ballgame with MST and harassment. Now there's more awareness about it. It's easier to talk about for some people. A lot of people who have been harassed or had MST happen still don't want to talk about it because it's embarrassing. It's not an easy thing to bring out into the open. And so for me, I was in such fear that I couldn't even go onto a military installation or go to the VA without my body start to shake. Everything started shaking, which was my body's trauma and stress response kicking in. And the interesting fact about this is that everybody reacts to things differently. And I didn't get deployed. I was helping with the deployments because I was in a medical unit. And you don't need to be deployed to experience PTSD. MST and harassment will do that as well. Now, I'm not taking away at all from experiences with PTSD during a war situation or anything like that. But it depends on who you are and how you respond to trauma and how much trauma you had as a child, and how complex PTSD, which is like a stacking of traumas, how that affects you. So there's a whole different slew of things that are attached to this. It's not just one specific way for one specific person or all people or whatever. It's all different. So in this process, I wanted, after I got out in 2003, I got off I was in AGR, which is Active Guard Reserve, which kind of is full-time, that works for the reserves. And when I got off of AGR, I stayed in for 3 more years and then wanted absolutely nothing to do with the military whatsoever. I wanted to get as far away as possible. I didn't want to deal with it, and I buried it deep, 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 deep until that day that my therapist got that out of me. And it has come out now, and I am healing from that. And my claim went in, so the benefits that I deserve are hopefully coming soon. And what was so incredible was my fears were alleviated by the fact that the people that I spoke to in the VA were wonderful. They were kind and they were gentle and they helped guide me through it and they walked me through the process and they talked to me about what was going to happen and what was going on. And it really changed my viewpoint on this, and it added to helping my healing process. So because of that, my life is changing and I'm grateful. And I'm so glad that I got that little nudge from my therapist. And so finally, the last thing I want to say is thank you to all those who serve now, who are married to, which I was a spouse also. So my father was in the military. So I was an Army brat. My father was in the military. I was in the military. Yes, I've practiced twice. 2 of my ex-husbands were in the military. And so I've gotten all angles of the military. Anyway, so again, those who served, those who are serving now, those who are married to, because that's a hard job, and anyone who's part of the military in some way, thank you on this Memorial Day for your service. And thank you to all the people who support the military in some way and the VA and me through my process. I am completely in awe at the difference and the focus of, especially of MST within the military at this point. And we're not just talking about women, it can be men and it can be any gender, whatever gender is out there in the military. It could happen to anyone. So I hope that you think about this part of it, that I'm glad you're probably having a nice time with picnics and cookouts and all the rest of that stuff, but there's other stuff that goes on that most people don't really know about. And some of the people who were in are not in a position or can't share what they went through. So I hope my share helps somebody to come out of that and heal themselves. And again, blessings to you. And I think that's about it. Peace.